of the chamber and weighing up to 80 tons, which is as heavy as 737 planes, but from Roswell Quarry over 1,000 kilometers away.
It's a quarry that is 1,000 miles away on the Nile River, Philip. Boats. They put it in boats. Milo, how did they transport 1,000-ton stone on boats? They were primitive savages. Boys, ships are capable of carrying really fucking heavy loads. Get any tanker ship, container ship. And obviously these people were working with boats at the time, so it seems like something that shouldn't even be possible. But if you don't believe that was possible, then you also shouldn't believe that a British man of war could have carried all those fucking cannons and all those supplies and all the shit and ballast that they have in them. And yet they did, but one of them was built by the civilizers, and one was built by these primitive savage barbarians. And so very clearly there's one I'll believe and I won't believe the other.
But they probably just used ropes and sleds, right?
Yeah, they probably just used ropes and sleds, right? Right? Philip, wouldn't it be really embarrassing if, no matter how smugly you said that, there's actual evidence from the Egyptians that that is exactly what they did? Have a look at this carving. What do you think of that, Philip? This is a carving from the tomb of Jehotiotep, and it quite literally shows Egyptians moving an enormous statue by dragging it. Or do you want to try and tell me that this was a giant? I'm just telling you, Philip, you do a little Google bunkers every once in a while.
Ceiling stones for the King's Chamber and the Great Pyramid were around 80 to
A fish game?
50 meters off the ground for 4,000 years, all with legends, origin, technology. Not sure how they did that.
I can't tell if that's a bad faith argument or kind of a dumbass. More than 50 meters off the ground. The stones in King's Chamber are 50 meters off the ground. That does not mean that they were lifted 50 meters off the ground. But since you started this video by showing a bunch of cranes falling over, it makes the most sense for your argument by saying, see, if we can't lift them off the ground with modern technology, how could they have? But the Egyptians weren't a bunch of idiots. So instead of lifting them off the ground, because that would be insanely difficult to do, they slid them along the ground. Still incredibly challenging and a really impressive feat, but way easier than thinking you're going to lift an 80-ton stone 50 meters into the air. Philip, you've got to be kidding me. None of you need me to explain this to you because all of you have done, I don't even want to say research, you're just not stupid, but we have extensive evidence to suggest that the pyramid was kind of built in a little bit of a step fashion, where they'd work on ramps, sort of bring things up and then kind of keep building up like that. So instead of the ancient Egyptians, standing there and being like, okay, yeah, we're going to put a pyramid here. The King's Chamber will be about 50 meters off the ground up there. So could you guys just help me with this thing? Just, break your leg. This thing's going to be heavy. They built up to where the King's Chamber was going to be and then drag those stones up as well and put them on top. It's still really impressive, don't get me wrong, but you're making it sound like it was harder so that you can give a more ridiculous explanation for it.
Why on earth would you build a roof like this that just makes the job 10 times harder? 80-ton stone blocks from hundreds of miles away that you can't even see from the chamber when it's done.
That's a really good question. Have any suggestions?
Historians will tell you they were relieving chambers, meant to keep the roof collapsing to bring the weight of the pyramid overhead, even though the chambers below had such.
Oh, okay. There you go. Thank you for actually doing some research this time, Philip. It's a damn shame that you decided to phrase it as, can you believe these stupid Egyptologists think that it was that the fucking many tons of stone wouldn't collapse the hole inside of it? It's a vaulted ceiling, Philip. The vaulted ceiling in a huge empty cavity in a giant pile of stones. The Egyptians were fucking idiots. They built a lot of pyramids that fell over before this, so they knew how to build a pyramid by this point. I can't believe it. This is why I think that we need to make both tech schools mandatory. This is a hill that I'm dying on. If I ever actually run for office or anything, I will insist that we fucking couple funding to vote tech schools. They just give kids so much, I'll speak to stars be tangent, but they just give kids so many good real world trades. I had friends who were in trades, welding, plumbing, that kind of thing. Out of high school, they were making 6 figures and they never needed to go to college. But just listening to this guy talk, the things he's talking about, I don't even need my archaeology degree to talk about all of it. It's just common sense. If you have not gone to Skills USA or FFA or had any fucking hands-on, tangible, skill trade experience in your life, you could make this video yourself.
The fact that we question the technological possibility of building stone block the advanced cranes and trucks of today is impressive on its own.
We are not questioning it, Philip. You are questioning it. You are questioning it because you have a fucking skillers. We all know that they did it. We are not questioning it, Philip. You are questioning it. You are questioning it because you have a fucking skill issue. We all know that they did it. There's proof.
And we haven't done it yet, so we don't even have hard proof. We actually can.
I will ask you again. Why? Why would we build a pyramid? We have no reason to build a pyramid. Not having built a pyramid is not evidence that we are incapable of building a pyramid. I am not currently doing a cartwheel. Does that mean I am incapable of doing a cartwheel? This is also a completely different argument than everything else you've been saying up until this point. Previously, he was like, you could only build these pyramids with advanced modern technology. And now he's like, even advanced modern technology struggles to do it. And then his end thesis is, we couldn't even do it with modern technology. So what fucking is it, Philip? What argument are you trying to make? That's the thing I've noticed with all your videos. They're so fucking redundant. Like, you don't have anywhere you're going with it. Just, like, find a conspiracy and then just rattle it off again. It doesn't matter if it's in line with anything else you've already said. When they said you could be anything, you could have picked something other than a lying hypocrite.
Ancient Egyptians had hieroglyphs outlining nearly every aspect of their lives, but not a single one of them fixed the construction of. They probably just forgot to remember the greatest achievement of civilization's history.
Or again, modern lens. In our eyes, pyramids are the greatest in their civilization history. And yeah, it's pretty fucking impressive. But you know what? I did a little Google debunking, and there actually are manuscripts left over from that building the Great Pyramid. This is a papyrus left over from one of the inspectors helping construct the Pyramid of Khufu. I'll read you a quick quote real quick. Letters described in the logbook were written more than 4,500 years ago by a middle-ranking inspector named Bearer, detailed over the course of several months of construction operations at the Great Pyramid,
You don't.
completion, and the work at limestone
Don't be red,
quarries
don't
at
be red.
Tura on the opposite bank of the Nile. This papyrus talks about a shitload of rocks. This papyrus talks about a shipload of rocks that were being sent to the construction of the Pyramid of Khufu. Wow, I wonder if there's any evidence that they used ships to transport the rocks. Also worth noting, and I'm going to get into this a little bit more in a minute because Philip brings it up again, is that the Great Pyramid of Giza is like more than 1,000 years old. The culture of Egypt changed a lot in the time that he is blanket terming ancient Egypt. So later he'll bring up, like, there's carvings in these other tombs, but not in the Great Pyramid. Why is that? It's because they were built fucking 1,500 years apart. The culture had changed. The style had changed. The way that burial ceremonies were done had changed. There not being carvings on the inside of the Great Pyramid does not prove shit.
Here's a 1-ton block of stone versus a truck. Yeah.
Philip looks like the kind of guy who would drive a truck. And I almost think that you would be smart enough to know that that is way too big of a fucking rock to put in a truck bed. Googling compilation of people doing stupid things with huge rocks does not prove your point.
Instead of completely shutting down speculation on how these impressive structures were made, maybe we should be asking ourselves what lost technology did our ancient ancestors have?
I'm not even that good at red!
He spends the whole video being like, mainstream archaeology lying to you. They don't want you to know about this. The Google debunkers will tell you. And then at the end he goes, we can't just shut down questions. We're just trying to have a conversation here. Philip, you got no right to fucking pack a video full of, like, vitriolic bullshit and then end it by being like, guys, I just want to talk. So Philip has a lot of things about the pyramids, but one that he holds very strongly, that the pyramids are not tombs. Yo, continuity error check. God, I'm back in here again. What the fuck? Huh. It's been maple season. Is it
Got 5 seconds, you
what year?
idiot!
Mad about? I am. So over the course of the last few days, I have been hauling jugs of maple sap up and down a hill, which is why I am no longer wearing the same outfit and a little bit sunburned. So now, about 30 jars from there. Talk about Philip again. 10,000 likes, I'll start a homesteading channel. Okay, where were we? Absolutely.
Take, for example, the Great Pyramid of Giza, the biggest one there is, which is said to have been built in 2, despite having 0 characteristics of actual Egyptian kings.
We are starting off long. I made very how it's not a good idea to listen to people who have no background in archaeology who are trying to talk like authority figures in archaeology. I also want to preface this whole part by saying that I am I am not an Egyptologist, but at the very least I have studied archaeology, so I can apply a little bit of what I'm doing here, but I'm not going to act like I'm an authority figure in Egyptology. But unfortunately, Philip, who appears to have this degree from the Barstool website, is talking like he's an authority figure in archaeology, so now we have to do a bit of a blind